Distinguished webinar participants, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. First of all, I would like to thank the Korean Embassy in Jakarta for giving me the opportunity to join this important webinar. Today, I will share a presentation on Indonesia healthcare industry in the era of new normal, with focus on pharmaceuticals and medical devices industry. This slide shows us about scope of my presentation today. First is about investment opportunities towards Indonesia healthcare developments. Second is regulatory on pharmaceuticals and medical devices. And third is the government policy in the era of new normal or post-COVID-19. Distinguished participants, I will start with Indonesia healthcare development and the investment opportunities. From these figures, we can see that healthcare industry is developing. Our national healthcare spending record an increasing trend since 2013, with spending of 298.4 trillion Indonesian rupiah to 2017, spending of 436.5 trillion Indonesian rupiah. Same figures was recorded in number of hospitals, where there is significant improvement from 2015, which is 2,488 hospitals to 2090, which is 2,877 hospitals. These figures shows Indonesians are utilizing healthcare in increasing trend in this will enlarge our healthcare market size. In terms of ease of doing business index, Indonesia put a progression to invite investment. As shown on slide, ease of doing business of Indonesia raised from rank 129 in 2013 to rank 72 in 2018. Indonesia considered to be one of Asian countries with better improvement on easy doing of business, as well as compared with BRIC countries. This is an outcome of substantial improvement made by Indonesian government on governance and bureaucracy. Responding to increased number of healthcare utilization and growing number of healthcare facilities, there is a need of medical devices, especially for new and high-tech devices. The government of Indonesia welcomes the high-technology medical devices to serve the need of Indonesia healthcare industry. Investment in this category of medical devices is needed to better opportunity to gain fiscal incentive. In this slide, we see that projected Indonesia's import medical devices market have been increased every year. It means that Indonesia welcome to other countries to invest, especially for new technology medical devices. The government is encouraging Indonesia pharmaceutical industry to transform their business, not only serve as formulation industry, but also become a research-based pharmaceutical industry that begins with the mastery of drug raw materials. Due to the recent investments that are urgently needed by Indonesia are: first, Indonesia of raw materials with 100% foreign capital ownership limits. Second, industry of finished product or patented medicines with foreign equity participation up to 85%. In addition to investment, Indonesia needs to improve domestic medical device industry. There is an opportunity of investment through the class C and D medical devices product manufacturer that open 100% to foreign direct investment. Government set up some incentive to investment made on pharma manufacturers. Government welcome investment on high-tech, research-based, and innovative product of pharma with limit of foreign ownership up to 85%, as I mentioned before. Similar incentive provided to research-based raw material manufacturers that bring their upstream to downstream technologies to invest in Indonesia, where the limit of foreign ownership may up to 100%. The ease of business licensing granted through implementation of online single submission, we call OSS, that could be used in proposing pharma industry licensing, GMP license, and product marketing approval. Ladies and gentlemen, other incentives set by the government for investors on pharma and medical devices manufacturer is fiscal incentive. Investor may propose to have special rates on import duty, machinery, and imported material. Investors also may seek for special incentive on tax if they are considered a pioneer industry or performing R&D activity to produce invention and innovation in Indonesia. Our government invites foreign investment to enter Indonesia. Distinguished participants, next is about regulatory on pharmaceuticals and medical devices in Indonesia. Indonesia is committed to develop pharma and medical device industry. This is shown by the stipulation of President's Instruction number 6 year 2016 on the acceleration of development of the pharmaceuticals and medical devices industry. The Ministry of Health has followed up the mandate by using Ministry of Health Regulation number 17 year 2017 concerning the action plan for the development of the pharmaceuticals industry and medical devices, which serve as a guide for stakeholders to advance the domestic industry. The implementation of this regulation is expected to encourage investment. Research-based pharmaceutical and medical device industry are widely open in Indonesia and also expected to increase production of generic drugs. Therefore, the government encourages both local and foreign investment on high-tech medical devices to run the business in Indonesia. Indonesia regulated pharmaceutical sectors in pre-market and post-market approach. Indonesia active as member and participant on international cooperation on medicine such as ICH and WHO. For pre-market control, Indonesia regulates manufacturer license, distribution license, and registration license or marketing. While in post-market control, we regulate biosampling, monitoring, vigilance, advertising, enforcement, and auditing. In the field of medical device, Indonesia also regulates on pre-market and post-market, and the regulatory approach applied since 1999. Indonesia is an active member and participant on medical device organization, which is adopt and comply with global standards such as AMDD, EHWP, EPEC, and IMDRF. Indonesia regulated medical devices pre-market through manufacturer license, distribution license, and marketing approval. In the post-market control, it regulated and executed by sampling, monitoring, vigilance, advertising, enforcement, and auditing. As member of ASEAN, Indonesia had implemented AMDD and risk classification of medical device in Indonesia divided into 4 classes, namely class A, B, C, and D, from low risk to high risk. This regulation refers to MDD, where the risk classification is based on the potency of risk that cause an impact to the patient user. Indonesia risk classification class is similar with EU practices with slightly differences in the use of alphabetics and Roman number. On performing pre-market control, service level agreement, which focus on providing access to appropriate device with minimal time-consuming process. This SLA is routinely monitored and evaluated, and as a result, it becomes the shortest service level agreement compared to other countries in this slide. This short SLA is designed to protect the aspect of public health and intellectual property rights, so people and inventors or applicants should not feel any doubt in the regulatory process. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, lastly, I will talk about the government policy in the era of new normal or post-COVID-19. In order to accelerate the importation of the product related to COVID-19, government set exception of import trade system licensing and regulate the HS code for certain medical devices. The government of Indonesia issued several regulations related to the COVID-19 pandemic situation, such as regulation of the Minister of Health number 7 in 2020, entry of medical devices through special access scheme. And the other one, Minister of Health Decree number 218 in 2020 regarding medical devices and in vitro diagnostic medical devices and household health products that are exempted from the import business license in the context of combating COVID-19. To encourage increased availability of medical devices and household health products needed in handling COVID-19, the government has implemented several policies such as service time acceleration, which is one-day service after the requested data is completed, simplification of requirement, and additional service day on weekend as well as public health. The policy are implemented on granting product licensing, production and distribution certificate, especially for PPE, ventilator, hand sanitizer, thermometer, and several devices in household health products needed in handling COVID-19. In an effort to improve effective, efficient, transparent, and accountable public services, the Ministry of Health has simplified this licensing system and process for the pharmaceuticals and medical devices industry. This is shown by the acceleration of the provision of manufacturer license for the pharmaceuticals and medical devices industry, distribution license, registration license for medical devices in household health products. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the issuance of product license for related product was also accelerated with the one-day services. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia has regulated post-market control for medical devices as well. In pandemic COVID-19 situation, there are several activities have been implemented in Indonesia, such as sampling and testing for medical devices aims to control the safety and quality of the medical devices in market, especially for PPE products. Handling of complaints and vigilance reports and other activities for post-market control has been implemented in Indonesia. As an additional response to pandemic, Ministry of Finance has regulated the fiscal incentive for industry. There are two regulations have been issued by Ministry of Finance. The first one, the Ministry of Finance Regulation number 44, year 2020 about tax incentive for taxpayers affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Second one, Ministry of Finance Regulation number 83, year 2020, regarding import duty facility and tax facility on goods for medicines for COVID-19 pandemic handling. The government hopes that these two regulations can support the industry in dealing with COVID-19 as well as maintaining economic conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about implementation of medical device control during the new normal era. As we are aware, in the condition of new normal, everything will not be the same as usually. There are many interventions to adjust with the current condition. This is also happened in the context of regulatory system. Indonesia also implementing the medical devices control during the new normal era. The principle of controlling the medical devices during new normal is how to balance the pre-market control and post-market control. This balancing intervention is using the digital technology to ensure or safeguard of the safety, quality, and efficacy or performance of medical devices. For example, pre-market control and the new normal. The first one, optimize the use of digital information technology in the process of licensing for the facility as well as product license. Second one, focus on new medical device innovation. Third one, adjustment the requirement in the new normal condition. For example, for clinical evaluation, certificate of resale, letter for authorization, and supported document. The fourth one, easiness and flexibility of consultation or assistance through virtual system. For the post-market control, a new era will be first one conducting remote audit to production and distribution facility. The second one, the use of information and technology to conduct monitoring or vigilance. The third one, optimize the use of electronic-based reporting for e-report and e-watch. And the fourth one, conducting medical device product sampling through the online courier services. Both the pre-market and post-market control has the main purpose to enhance the compliance of industries and distributors upon the requirements and regulation of medical devices. Distinguished participants, this is the end of my presentation. I wish this presentation will provide you with beneficial information and enhance our bilateral cooperation between Indonesia and Korea in the field of pharmaceuticals and medical devices. Thank you. Kamsa Hamida.